One of the things that tends to plague female hognose especially is scent gland issues. So in today's video I want to talk about prevention for that and how to deal with a blocked scent gland if it does happen to you. Because if you have females or more than one, chances are it is going to happen at some point. So the start of today's video is Squashy, because she is a female that I do have problems with her scent gland blocking all the time. Or I used to, it hasn't happened for about a year. And I'll show you actually on her body now the remains of that, because you can still see where it's happened. So here's Squashy, and if I get her tail, you can see on her tail there's a bump, right? This is where she's had scent gland issues in the past. You can see that lump right on her tail. She will have that lump forever now. There's nothing I can do about it. It doesn't look great, but it's absolutely fine. It's minimal now. But yeah, that is some permanent changes to her body now because of the scent gland got blocked. I'm sorry, Squashy. It's not. You don't like it, do you? So as you can see there, her cloaca's a bit jaunted, and there is a lump there. So it isn't hard to guess what a scent gland does. It produces scent, and they release this liquid scent themselves. Squashy, when I bought her, I knew about these problems. She wasn't sold to me without me knowing firsthand. But they are very common in female hognose, especially in captivity. One thing you can do to prevent this is change the substrate a lot more than you generally would. This is because you might look at the substrate, it might look pristine as if the snake hasn't moved. You spot cleaned, there's no poo in it, you can't see any stains. But the females would have scented the substrate. So if you then change the substrate and disinfect their enclosure, clean it out completely, put them back in, they will scent pretty much straight away because it hasn't got their scent anymore. And obviously, if every time you change their substrate and clean them out, they scent, that's going to stop their scent gland blocking up. So that's quite important with hognose. It's something that's not talked about, is maybe clean them a bit more frequently than other snakes or reptiles because of those scent gland issues. Hey, Squashy. So the scent gland is where the liquid scent has got stuck near the vent, where you saw that little bulge where the cloaca is, and it goes into almost like a waxy solid, right? And they can't push that waxy solid out. So, like I said, if they have got no reason to scent and they don't release it and their body produces more, it's going to back up, it's going to compact. So what do you do if this actually happens to you? It's quite simple really, and the answer is a bath. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Set up a little mini tub for Squashy. She hasn't got any gland issues at the moment, but it's good to demonstrate. So the water's reading at 30, 33, 34-ish, which is fine. You don't want it any hotter than their hotspot, obviously, but you want it kind of warm, because the idea here is to melt the solid scent in their scent gland. So I'm just going to pop her in. Get a nice warm bath, my dear. The whole body obviously doesn't need to be submerged. That isn't your goal here. It's not like she's got stuck shed, like a stuck shed bath. It's not like that. You just want that tail in there so it tries to melt that waxy scent that she has stuck in her gland. So she doesn't need to keep her head in or have her body submerged. Just that tail part needs to be heated up quite nicely. She seems to be relaxed and enjoying it a little bit. It's got to be nice and warm for you, baby. And there we go again. You can see that lump in the side of her cloaca where her scent gland has had an issue in the past. So your hoggy's been in there sort of 10-15 minutes, you know, as long as the water's still warm. They're ready to come out now. So we're going to pull her out of here. Just going to put her on some towel for a little bit. Look, she's trying to climb my hand where she still thinks she's somehow in the water. You're so cute and stupid. I'm just going to manipulate her movement so she stays on the tail for a second. That's cool. And then you're not going to put them back in their normal enclosure for the next part. What you want to do is put them in a rub like this. Take their substrate out, take their enrichment out, have a very basic rub that you can go in there if you want, on paper towels. So the important thing about your paper towels is this is going to let you see anything that they pass out through the cloaca. And you want to be able to see that waxy stuff come out, right? So give them a bath, dry them off, put them in a rub. Can be smaller like this one if you like. Put them on paper so you can see what they're passing through their cloaca. She's actually making her home in there, which, you know, you don't need to, love. But obviously, as she actually hasn't got any issues at the moment, she's going straight back in her normal rub. So she can go in there. So thank you for your help today, Squashy. Sorry for disturbing you, but we had to just explain some of that. Thank you for your cooperation. So once you've got them out of the bath, you've got them in a rub with paper towels, very basic rub, so you can see what's going on, what they're pooping, if any of this waxy substance is going to come out. Hopefully it will be more like liquid now because you've heated them up in a warm bath. Give it a week or two, more like a week, 2 if it's a real bad issue, and then they can go back in their normal enclosure. If it hasn't worked, rinse and repeat. Disclaimer, I'm not a vet. I can only talk about what has worked for me. This might not work for you. If it is in a very extreme case, you will have to go to an exotic vet and let them examine your snake. But this is what you can do at home to help with this issue. So the important thing about prevention is change the substrate literally a week and a half to 2 weeks for females. Especially if they do have gland issues. You know to change their substrate a lot quicker. Because it will promote them to release their scent glands a lot more. Out of all the females I've ever had, Squashy's the only one to have this issue. But it's one I see nearly daily on forums and stuff of people asking for advice. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this helps someone that's struggling with this issue. Don't panic, just give them a bath, change the substrate, see what happens. Obviously if it gets bad enough, take them to a vet. But yeah, it should be alright, don't worry.